All right, so let's talk cranes. This deep dive is brought to you by Safety One Source, and they're all about keeping things running smoothly and safely when it comes to heavy lifting. And speaking of safety, we're diving into a topic that's absolutely crucial for anyone involved with cranes: the language of crane signals. Whether you're an operator working towards your recertification, aiming to become an operator, or a safety pro on site, this one's for you.
You know, it's fascinating how much emphasis is placed on communication in this field. It's not just about knowing how to operate the machinery, but also about mastering this whole system of signals. It ensures that everyone's on the same page and literally keeps things moving safely and efficiently.
Exactly. It's like a secret language, a silent dialogue between the operator and the signal person. And you know me, I love getting into the nitty-gritty, so we're going deep into the regulations and really unpacking the why behind these signals and the potential consequences if they're not followed, and some surprising details about the qualifications and expertise involved.
And you'd be surprised how rigorous those qualifications are, especially for signal persons. They're not just waving their arms around. They need a deep understanding of crane operations, the ability to interpret complex signals, and the awareness to anticipate potential hazards.
It's a huge responsibility, right? I mean, they're essentially the operator's eyes on the ground, guiding a machine that's capable of lifting incredible weights.
Yeah.
So let's jump right into our source material, section 5.3.3, and see what it says about the absolute foundation of this communication system.
And the foundation, as you might expect, is clear and continuous communication between the operator and the signal person. It's not just about checking in every now and then. It's about a constant flow of information, ensuring that every movement is understood and coordinated.
And what struck me is this rule: if communication breaks down even for a second, the operator has to stop all crane movement. No exceptions. Imagine you're up there lifting a massive steel beam and suddenly your radio cuts out. You can't do anything until that connection is reestablished and you get a clear signal. Talk about taking communication seriously.
It really highlights the proactive approach to safety.
Right.
It's not just about reacting to problems, but preventing them in the first place. By emphasizing constant communication, they're minimizing the risk of even the slightest misunderstanding, which could have disastrous consequences when you're dealing with such powerful machines.
So true. Now let's get into the actual signals themselves. Section 5.3.3.2 is all about clarity. The signals have to be crystal clear, no room for ambiguity. The operator can't be left guessing or interpreting vague gestures. It's all about standardized signals, whether they're hand signals or voice signals, and both are crucial parts of this system.
What I find interesting is that the regulation doesn't dictate one method over the other. It acknowledges that both hand and voice signals have their place, and different situations might call for different approaches.
Makes sense. And you might think anyone could just step into the role of a signal person, but Section 5.3.3.3 throws a bit of a curveball. It reveals just how qualified signal persons need to be. It's not just about knowing a few hand signals. It's about understanding crane operations inside and out.
Think about it. They need to know the crane's capabilities and limitations. They have to be able to anticipate potential issues, understand load dynamics, and communicate all of that effectively to ensure safe and efficient lift. It's a highly skilled position.
They're practically crane whisperers. It's amazing how much knowledge and responsibility goes into that role.
Absolutely. They need to be fluent in the language of cranes just as much as the operator. So let's take a closer look at that language, starting with hand signals. Section 5.3.3.4 and Figure 5.3.3.41 give us a detailed breakdown. And instead of just listing them, let's paint a picture.
Imagine you're on a bustling construction site. You see the operator high up in the crane's cab, and down below the signal person is their partner in this intricate dance of precision. They're the ones guiding every movement, ensuring everything flows smoothly and safely.
To hoist the load, the signal person extends their arms straight up, finger pointing towards the sky. It's a clear, concise command, and the operator knows exactly what to do.
And to lower that load, they slowly point their finger down, moving their arm in a controlled manner. It's almost like they're guiding the load down themselves, ensuring a smooth and safe descent.
Precisely. It's all about conveying information through simple, unambiguous gestures. Every movement has a specific meaning, and both the operator and signal person need to be perfectly synchronized.
It's a bit like conducting an orchestra, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where every gesture from the conductor elicits a precise response from the musicians.
That's a great analogy. But what happens when those hand signals aren't practical? Let's say there's limited visibility or the distance between the operator and the signal person is too great. That's where voice signals come in as detailed in Section 5-3.3.5.
So we're moving from a visual language to an auditory one, and clarity is still paramount, right?
Absolutely. And pre-planning is key. Before any lifting takes place, the entire team, the operator, signal person, and anyone else involved needs to agree on the specific voice signals they'll be using. No room for assumptions or misinterpretations.
It's like establishing a code, a shared language, that ensures everyone is on the same page from the get-go. And these voice signals aren't just random shouts. They have a specific structure, right?
That's right. A voice signal typically consists of 3 elements. First, they specify what they want the crane to do: hoist, lower, swing, boom up, and so on. Then comes the distance or speed. For example, hoist 5 feet or swing slowly. And finally, a clear stop command to end the movement.
So it's like a precise set of instructions, almost like a computer program, ensuring that every movement is controlled and deliberate.
Exactly. And just like with any critical communication system, they emphasize testing the equipment beforehand. Imagine relying on a faulty radio while directing a multi-ton load. That's a recipe for disaster.
Definitely not a situation you want to be in. So they recommend having backup communication methods, spare batteries, and a clear protocol for what to do if that communication breaks down.
And remember, those voice signals are always given from the operator's perspective. So if the signal person wants the crane to move to their right, they'll say, "swing right," even though from their vantage point, it might look like the crane is moving left. This avoids any confusion and keeps things aligned.
That's so important. It's about having a shared mental map, ensuring everyone is seeing the same picture, even if they're looking at it from different angles.
Exactly. And Section 5.3.3.5 also wisely points out that it's not a one-size-fits-all approach. The complexity of the lift, the experience levels of the operator and signal person, the environment, all these factors come into play.
So it's about adapting to the situation, choosing the right signals for the job, and ensuring everyone is comfortable and confident in their roles.
It's like a constant risk assessment, evaluating and adjusting to maintain optimal communication and minimize any potential hazards. Now, let's talk about those situations where the standard signals just aren't enough. Section 5.3.3.6 introduces us to the world of special signals, which are fascinating because they show just how adaptable the system is.
Special signals. I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Imagine you're using a crane to assemble a complex piece of machinery, maybe a massive wind turbine or a bridge section. You might need signals to rotate a component, align it precisely, or perform tasks that go beyond the standard repertoire.
So you need to invent new signals on the fly.
Not quite on the fly, but the team needs to come up with custom signals that are specific to that task or equipment. But here's the crucial part. Those special signals can't conflict with the standard ones. Clarity and consistency are still paramount, even when you're dealing with specialized tasks.
It's like adding new words to a language, but making sure they don't sound too similar to the existing words so there's no chance of misunderstanding.
Exactly. And speaking of specialized signals, let's shift gears to a different aspect of crane operations travel signals. These are all about keeping things safe when the crane itself is on the move, as detailed in Section 5-3.3.7.
So we're not just talking about lifting and lowering, but actually moving the entire crane across the job site. I can imagine that adds a whole other layer of complexity.
It does, and it requires a different set of signals, mainly audible ones, to ensure everyone around the crane is aware of its movements. Think horns, whistles, or even bells, anything that can cut through the noise of a busy construction site.
So if I'm the signal person and I want the crane to move forward, what do I do?
2 short, sharp blasts with your horn or whistle. That's the universal go-ahead signal. It's loud, it's clear, and it lets the operator know they're clear to proceed.
Got it. 2 blasts for forward. What about stopping?
1 short blast is all it takes to signal stop. Immediately, the operator brings the crane to a halt, and if they need to reverse, it's 3 short blasts, the classic backup signal. It's all about keeping those movements controlled and predictable.
It's fascinating how even these seemingly simple signals play such a crucial role in safety. It's like a whole choreography, a dance between the crane and everyone around it.
That's a great way to put it. But there's one more category of signals we need to talk about, and those are the most critical of all emergency signals. Section 5-3.3.8 highlights these, and what's interesting here is that anyone on site can give an emergency signal if they see a dangerous situation developing.
So it's not just the operator and the signal person who are responsible for safety.
Exactly. It's a shared responsibility. Everyone on the site has a role to play in preventing accidents, and that's why those emergency signals are predetermined so everyone knows what they mean. It could be a series of short, frantic blasts on a horn or a continuous, urgent siren-like sound, anything that grabs attention and signals that something is wrong.
It's about cutting through the noise and making sure the operator knows there's a potential hazard. I bet those signals send a jolt of adrenaline through everyone on site.
They certainly do. And remember that emphasis on P agreement we talked about earlier. It's especially important for emergency signals. Imagine the chaos if someone yelled, "Stop!" but the operator thought it was just background noise. Those signals need to be distinct, attention-grabbing, and unmistakable.
So it's not just about reacting to danger, but about having a culture of awareness and communication where everyone feels empowered to speak up if they see something risky.
Precisely. It's about creating a safety net where everyone is looking out for each other.
Well, I have to say, we've covered a lot of ground today, from basic hand signals to complex voice commands, and even those crucial emergency signals. It's amazing how much depth there is to this seemingly simple language of crane operation.
It's a testament to how critical communication is in this field. Every signal, whether it's a flick of the wrist or a blast of a horn, carries weight and responsibility.
And for our listeners out there, operators, aspiring operators, safety personnel, understanding these signals isn't just about checking a box. It's about being empowered to work safely and efficiently. It's about having that shared language that keeps everyone in sync and prevents accidents.
And it's about knowing that even in this world of heavy machinery and complex operations, clear communication is at the heart of it all.
Absolutely. So to wrap things up, I want to thank Safety One Source for sponsoring this deep dive and for their commitment to crane safety. If you're looking for more information, be sure to check out their website for a wealth of resources.
And don't forget to take another look at figure 5.3.3.4-4 for a visual reference of those hand signals.
Because knowledge is power, especially when it comes to safety. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and keep those cranes moving smoothly.
We'll see you on the next deep dive.